It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
After 25 years of building websites for all kinds of companies in many different industries, AmericanEagle.com realized a well-designed website is also your best employee, bringing efficiency, revenue, production, showing up every day, giving above and beyond to increase your bottom line. That's what a website designed, developed, and hosted by AmericanEagle.com has brought to so many clients. An AmericanEagle.com website is a 24/7 branding exercise, building rapport and thus brand equity while you sleep. Companies like WeatherTech have relied on AmericanEagle.com's website design and development and hosting capabilities for years. When some of the world's top brands need a reliable company to prepare their sites for high-traffic events, who do they call? AmericanEagle.com. Their clients have come to rely on them for a full line of website services, from consulting and strategy to digital marketing, hosting, and maintenance. Give the team at AmericanEagle.com a call today. 1-877-WEB-NOW. The number 1 is the number. AmericanEagle.com is the website. 1-877-WEB-NOW-1 is the number.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so momentous news this morning as trading was halted for 15 minutes because the S&P dropped more than 7% upon opening. It could be halted again if the S&P declines 13%. That's the next circuit breaker. Then trading will again pause for 15 minutes if the drop occurs on or before 3:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And then level 3 circuit breaker is if the S&P falls 20%, trading would halt for the remainder of the day. But all of those are bad news, starting with the fact that right now Dow is down north of 7%, 1,800 points, which is about where it was when trading was halted. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend, CNBC contributor Jim Iourio. Jim, trading halted. We haven't seen that in a couple of decades, right?
Right, we actually haven't, since they even put in these new rules, we haven't seen it happen. They put in some different rules after the flash crash in 10, that today was the first time they've ever actually been used. We were just commenting before I called. My team that I trade, sorry if I've been up most of the night, so if I start babbling, I apologize. Okay. We were just saying how they seem to work. They seem to actually institute a little bit of calm, take away some of the panic. I mean, there's still obvious tons of panic. But right now we're actually trading above the 7% limit that was the second tier. Yeah. So right now it looks like we're going to, again, the situation is fluid, as they say. Things could change in a second, but right now there was some buyers that came in around down 7% of the day. So we are now open and actively trading.
And this is happening because not only the coronavirus fears, but also the crash in oil prices.
No doubt about it. Think about it this way: is that after we closed the stock market on Friday, it seemed like peak coronavirus fears were starting to set in. I don't know if you spent any time on social media over the weekend, but everywhere you got there was reports. Then all of a sudden on Sunday we get news that Saudi and Russia are engaged in some sort of price war in crude, and that the price of crude is going to drop 25%. Now we can have a debate as to whether or not that may ultimately be good or bad for the U.S. economy. It's probably slightly bad, but that's a debate for 2 weeks from now. When any asset class a major one, is going to have a big price move like that, and the stock market's already in a mood to be scared about things, they're going to take it badly. That's an absolute. So that was kind of a 1-2 punch. I think that now we're in the throes of the last panic push lower in the stock market. I don't know if I have necessarily the guts to put money to work yet, but I'm considering it.
And you say that because you believe that it's being factored in, a quarter of Italy's population being quarantined and that economy effectively being shut down, in addition to the prospect that similar things can happen in major urban centers in America, the way things are trending, at least with respect to things like mass transit and big group gatherings and so forth.
No, this is certainly an enormous macroeconomic economic story. No, it's going to have an impact. It's going to probably push us into a recession. When we start talking about the administration thinking about encouraging people not to fly on commercial planes, I mean, that's the lifeblood of everything. What I'm saying is that oftentimes markets, it's kind of their job to price in worst case scenarios. So yes, the stock market being down 20% off its highs is pricing in a bad economic outcome. Also, we have to always remember, too, that the Fed and the world central banks are throwing money at this problem as well. And that's kind of a decent counterbalance to risk asset prices. It doesn't feel like it today, but I think it will be at some point in time.
And so, I mean, if people are looking to looking for flight to safety, where do they go?
Well, it's been gold and the 10-year have been pretty exclusive, and the 10-year being, U.S. 10-year Treasury bonds have being the far winner as what is the main thing on the safe haven list. If this was 6 months ago, people would have been kicking around the notion that Bitcoin possibly could have been a safe haven. It has failed in its bid to become a safe haven. Gold has been pretty good throughout this, but there's been a couple quick instances. There was a time a week and a half ago where gold went down $100 because of margin calls from some hedge funds supposedly that had on stocks and needed to cover margins, so gold fell $100 in the midst of it. Gold has still been good, but the winner and still champion is the U.S. 10-year Treasury safe haven.
What about real property with interest rates trending to zero?
I believe that that's a good thing, too. I'm looking more at rates. I heard an interesting speaker talk about how it's already beginning to happen. It's so funny when it's in the real estate market, you can't monitor price ripples real time like you can in pretty much every other asset class. But I definitely think with rates going to zero, consumers are going to have more money. I know the oil industry in this country is going to be crushed, but consumers are going to have some more money in their pocket, too. I'm not saying that someone's going to save money on gas and go buy a house, but the interest rate thing is a far bigger deal, yes. I've used safe haven, too. I would add, too, that there will be a time, and I think it's about 2 to 4 weeks out, where I think the U.S. stock market is going to be kind of on that global safe haven list, at least as an honorary member.
Well, I hope we're going to have 2-for-1 burger night at Brandt's pretty soon because I'm going to need to start, saving my pennies.
Money.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, right? Yeah.
And do you think President Trump will address the nation on this? I mean, his greatest calling card for re-election is the economy.
This is a tough one for him, isn't it? Now, you just hit on something that I think could be a bigger issue longer term. And the answer to this is yes. The people who listen to him the closest are the ones who just listen to him to make fun of him. The people who are really trading this and really macroeconomic analysts are looking more towards the administration's actions as far as how they're going to fight this more than the words. But, and this is important, if this goes on for a month and a half, and all of a sudden the economy is still looking bad, and we start pricing in possibly a Bernie Sanders presidency, that's going to be a bigger macroeconomic impact and a longer macroeconomic impact than any of this stuff.
Jim Iourio, CNBC contributor, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. And he joined us on our Turnkey Pro answer line. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
A Chicago man is the 7th coronavirus case in Illinois. The former civil rights leader is endorsing Bernie Sanders. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Trading was suspended.